we now come to the end of my final attempt to create some kind of dialogue with you, with the human race, actually. Because it is a world that's in crisis, even if you don't admit to it. The evidence is absolutely clear. You know, the future can be predicted by the evidence, not by what you believe. The reality of this USA is constantly that it is in crisis as well. You know, I thought that you would care about the world. I thought you'd care about global warming. I thought you'd care about the water. I thought you'd care about mutilating all of nature. I thought you'd care about trying to ignite sunfire on this planet. In an instant, everyone is incinerated. Everyone will be incinerated. I thought you would care about something. But you proved to not care about anything. And I blame that on, the fact that the media tells you what you believe, and media tells you what you think, and the university is God, is your cult, and things like that. So I'm just going to wrap it up with the simple truth that if you don't change, you will be extinct. And I can, and the constant of the human race is that we'll wait and see. Well, you can't go extinct and wait and see. You can identify the future by the evidence. If I put you in a car and drove you into a concrete wall at 100 miles an hour, do you have to wait and see to know what the end result of that will be? No, you don't. And it doesn't take much of a brain to understand that the end of resources, this is a finite planet, pollution in a trillion ton, a quadrillion ton, and poisons in the trillion ton, and ocean life dying, and the oxygen content ending, and carbon dioxide taking over the world, and just an endless amount of trouble in plain view. And still you don't care. You don't care. You just don't care. You say we can't all be wrong, but you got here. You got here together. You were all wrong. And you said, we don't have to care about the money because they tell us the money doesn't matter, and as long as they give you a bribe, you don't care. But the end result of it, of course, is that the nation is dead. And you don't care about the university who lead you everywhere, anywhere, even to crucify all life on earth by injecting chaos in nature. You don't care. You don't care. So I'm going to wrap it up with the simple words that if you don't accept the truth that you have to actually go bankrupt as a nation, because we have to return to truth. And we can't return to truth if you let the thieves and the liars and traitors and the terrorists and everything bad about human existence be in charge of your lives, or your nation, or your world. You cannot do that. You have to accept the fact that law must rule, not people. And you must do what needs to be done to make that happen. And you can't be bankrupt, you can't control, unless you control bankruptcy, which means that bankers are thrown out of the way. Which means that everything that you call power is thrown to the side. Which means that we, the people, must decide what our future will be. We must decide what promises we will keep, because all of debt is a promise, and a promise, of course, is made so that you pay what they promised. And that's the same with counterfeiting. You pay what they stole. They stole it. They counterfeited it, the money, and they stole it. And they gave you the counterfeiting. They laundered their money in Wall Street. So you thought, I got my share, or whatever it is, and you didn't care. The entire reality of human life, at least in this USA, is you don't care. I thought that you would care a little bit about medical issues, medical expenses, but you didn't care. It doesn't matter what the situation was. It doesn't matter what was important to life or world or a future or a child or anything. It didn't care. Do you see the pattern here? You didn't care. So we are standing at the edge of extinction because you didn't care. And it is extinction because, overpopulation is a tragedy to the water supply. There's poison everywhere. There's problems everywhere. There's, your water supply can end. The biblical prediction, or the Christian Bible, which is the New Testament, is, get to drink wormwood. And of course that just means there's poison in it. And there's everything, or for that matter, the prediction is Armageddon, which means nature and chaos. How do you, they're injecting chaos into nature because they believe they can play God, because they believe in evolution, which is a complete and utter lie without a foundation of any kind. You just accepted it because you didn't care. You wanted a life with no consequences for you, and they wanted a life with no consequences for them. So they stole, and 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 they stole some more. And they betrayed life and world. And they say, well, they can't all be wrong. Well, yes, they can all be wrong. We actually stand on the edge of extinction. But you don't care. And you don't care because you want what you want. And you don't want what you don't want. And you believe whatever it is you want to believe. And I ask you only to investigate and decide to prove what is true and what is not true, and the cost of being wrong. And there is nothing beyond the certainty that is so utterly able to be understood by you, than it is to have people trying to ignite the same fire here as is on the sun. You understand the consequences of being wrong. You do. 1,000,000-mile-long flame. That's what they say. 4 times the distance from the moon to the earth. That long of flame. Here on the planet. You believe whatever they tell you. As pathetic cult worshippers do. Believers in lies, and believers, it's a religion. They are God, and you are their subjects. You are their slaves. You are a cult. It is as simple as that. So, there's no point in talking to you forever. There's no point in trying to make you understand that truth has a consequence. That reality of life and death is real. That there are things that matter. There are many things that matter. And even killing your own children doesn't matter. It's a finite planet, which means that there's an end to everything. An end to everything. There's only so much, and that's all there is. And there's not going to be mining asteroids, and you're not going to be mining the moon, and you're not going to be moving off to Mars or any of that. Because in the first place, without the oxygen to breathe, you can't go. And you can't take enough oxygen with you to make it happen. You're not going anywhere. And that's only for the people, only for the elite who believe they can escape. You're not going along. 8.2 billion people, how many people do you think they can fit on a rocket? 5? Where is your brain? Where is it? What did you do with it? Where did you put it? Did you hide it in the closet somewhere? Can you find it? Is it so dusted up and ruined that you can't use it anymore? Find your brain. And yes, I know I'm not pretty, and I'm not rich, and I'm not what you want to be, and all of that. And the end result of that is you're not what I want to be, you want either, because you don't care. You don't care. So I'm going to tell you, plain and simple, you need to care. You need to find something inside of you that says, I'm a living human being, a miracle of life on this planet of miracles that stands out apart from everything else that we know in the solar system as a living organism that can die, and we have to protect it. We have to protect it. And I have told you that, I have a spiritual side, and that there is a female added to my existence, and you, I'm sure, can make any kinds of ridicule that you want to, but the end result of that is she is the prediction of Revelation 12 in the Christian Bible, the New Testament, which is that a woman is standing on the moon, which means if she's standing on something forward and you can't touch her, but you could still see the evidence of her. And anyway, she's, basically trying to mother you, which is, I think there's some prophecy of some sort or other about that too. Trying to mother you through me. But nonetheless, she's trying to mother you because this is the last phase of the last time of the last chance you have to make a difference to the end result of your life, to the end result of your world, to whether or not this entire world goes extinct, whether or not it falls into hell, whether or not it's incinerated by those who are trying to ignite sunfire here, whether or not nature falls apart because you added chaos, or you let the cult add chaos for you. You let them. You let them. You let them. Saying, well, they'll probably find something that might save my life for a day or two, but it won't save your eternity. And they're not going to find anything to save your life. Just look at all the lawsuits about all the pharmaceuticals that exist, and there's endless amounts of problems with Medicare, or medicine rather, and endless amounts of Medicare and Medicaid that can't be paid. They're not paid. They're not going to be paid. It is a lie. And of course, everybody says, well, we're getting paid, we're getting the bribe, we're getting, counterfeit money, and it don't matter as long as I don't care. But the end result, of course, is what you're doing is you're stealing the life and the future from your child to do that. You're literally stealing the life and the future from your child to have all the things that your counterfeit money, and which is currency that is beyond comprehension, beyond all forms of reality, or debts that do matter, because your children are supposed to pay you for that, and they're not going to be able to pay you because there's not enough resources in the entire world just to fill the promises of the American society, not to mention the entire world society, which is, over a quadrillion billions dollars just in the fantasy money of credit. That's just a small amount of the claims against you that you and the rest of the world have been saying, we don't care, no consequences for us. But of course there are consequences for you, and that is that the world dies. You have a whole ocean filled with poison and pollution and all kinds of overfishing and everything. You're killing off every incubator of life in the ocean. You don't have you are the singular worst humanity in the entire history of the world. The singular people who have no education for life or reality or truth or anything important. Only the lies of university place God. And I am actually ashamed of you. You don't care. You don't care. And if you don't care, you don't love. And if you don't love, eternity has a bad surprise for you. And it will come true, because that actually is a truth. And every truth has a consequence, and every consequence has an outcome. That is the destiny or the fate of those who experience it. So try to find a brain I know you think you're the smartest people who ever lived. You are the stupidest. After all, take a look around you, understand what the evidence is, and know that extinction is coming soon. Hell is coming soon. Hell means that you have no option to survive. The last chance that you could have used to protect this world, to protect this life, to protect anything is over, and now we just have to wait for your death, for your extinction, for the world itself to die because of humans and what they did do, what you chose to do, who you chose to follow, and who you chose to believe, even though you had no right to. Investigate people who are trying to ignite fire, the sunfire here on earth.